Welcome to your mother's favorite podcast, Sammy and Marissa's husband. We got a good little episode for you today. We're going to start with Trey's This Day in History. Take it away.
All right. So this day in history, kind of a sad thing for American history today. In 1942, during World War II, President Roosevelt signed an executive order which paved the way for the relocation and internment of people with Japanese ancestry, including U.S.-born citizens. So kind of sad, but obviously this was sparked from the attack on Pearl Harbor, right, which thrust the U.S. into war on two fronts, Europe and the Pacific. Before that, we were largely in a non-combat role, supplying munitions, basically, kind of like what we're doing now in Ukraine. The executive order didn't blatantly say that all Japanese Americans were to be detained and relocated. Basically, it made the entire West Coast a military area, and it was split into sectors, and it authorized military commanders in the area to exclude civilians from those zones. It first resulted in curfews being placed on only Japanese Americans, so not all the civilians in the zones, but targeting the Japanese Americans specifically. Following the curfews, there was the voluntary relocation of Japanese Americans for their own safety. And that was encouraged, not mandatory, and it resulted in only about 7% of the Japanese Americans complying with that. Then came the forced evacuation and detention of all Japanese American West Coast residents with only a 48-hour notice. All private property, businesses, homes, etc., were lost forever, basically. They had to give them up. They had 9 sites, 2 in California, 2 in Arkansas, which is pretty random. 1 in Idaho, Utah, Wyoming, Arizona, and Colorado. And this detention lasted till the end of the war in 1945. And I believe under the Reagan administration in 1988, every person incarcerated did receive some compensation. I mean, monetary compensation doesn't really help when you lose your entire life savings.
With the physical and emotional trauma.
Exactly, right. So they all got $20,000, which is a kind of a slap in the face. But that is today in history,
Hell yeah, dude.
So way to start it on a good note. But I feel like that was kind of an important thing to talk about. It gets overlooked. I don't think they talk about that stuff too much in schools. So probably should talk about the dark history when it comes to that stuff.
Yeah, you can't just gloss over it. Otherwise, what's that say? It's bound to repeat itself.
History repeats itself. So hopefully we don't do that one again. I think the biggest thing on that's crazy to me is like even US born citizens. So like not just people that immigrated who weren't citizens. We're talking people that were born here that identify as Americans and are probably just as upset about Pearl Harbor as everybody else. So pretty wild. But that's this day in history. I think next on the agenda, we're going to talk about our Epic Bar Tab review. So I'll kind of explain what the Epic Bar Tab is so people understand what we're talking about. Basically, Sammy and Marissa work for the same company, and if their team hits their goal for the fiscal quarter or year or whatever it is, they get what's called an Epic Bar Tab, which basically just a gift card to a restaurant. It's you have to pay for it and then you get reimbursed later. So it's $200, which is a nice little date night. You can make $200 go a long way. So we went to this was Friday night. Friday night we used the bar tab and we went to this place called Mabella's, which we talked about last time. Great, 10 out of 10 recommend. I'm gonna give it an overall score of 8.6. It was really, really, really good. Obviously, even the best place is not going to get a 10. That's just our grading scale. But 8.6 is a solid score. We got, first of all, they bring bread to the table. Any restaurant that brings you bread and it's complimentary in a sense, that's high on my list. Then we
Yeah,
got
they're recouping the bread, the amount of money you're spending.
oh, facts. Yeah, they're getting that back. But we got this appetizer that was, I can't remember the name of it, but it was like a Italian fried cheese type thing. And then we got more little like, I wouldn't say bread, more like crackers kind of deal, but like cracker bread. I don't know. It was good. And that shit was good. I got an old fashioned to drink. Sammy got a limoncello spritz, I believe is what it was called. She liked that. She enjoyed that a lot. I got steak, mashed potatoes, and Caesar salad for my entree. Just 10 out of 10. Steak was cooked perfect. Mashed potatoes were actually really good. And Caesar salad was up there. I'm kind of a Caesar salad snob. Not sure why, but it was pretty solid. You probably would have liked what Sammy got. She got, I think, fried grouper. I don't know. It was grouper, Brussels sprouts, mashed potatoes, and then we shared cheesecake at the end. And that cheesecake, I was so full too, but that cheesecake was bomb. So Mabella's 8.6, I would highly recommend.
Okay, that's pretty solid. What was the how were the drinks? Was it solid pour? Were they stiff?
Yeah, the old fashioned is, there's not too much to an old fashioned anyway. It's largely whiskey. Um, but it was good. I like an old fashioned because it has that hint of like orange in there, and they always put the cherry um in like the orange slice in there. And I'm a slut for some fruit in a drink, so you know.
Oh man, we went to Steam, which is in the Embassy Hotel downtown, and Drew and Casey went with us too because Casey also gets that epic bar tab. We did. We got there when me and Drew been talking about it all week, and he was like, "Let's each order 2 appetizers." I'm like, "Okay." We get there. She starts going around the table. Drew orders one, so I order two, and then I'm expecting Drew to order another one. He pusses out, doesn't order another one. He ordered I think it was like a pimento cheese where it came with like pickled cucumbers, pickled strawberries, which actually that was interesting. I never had that before. And fried pickles on top of the pimento cheese. And I ordered a charcuterie board that had sopressata, capicola, prosciutto, and all kind like 3 different fancy cheeses, fruits, had jam. It was $60, but it was good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dang.
I can't there was another fucking appetizer that it'll probably come to me. But I got a crab and corn chowder that came before my meal, which was blackened seafood pasta. It had crab meat, scallops, and the biggest fucking shrimp I've ever seen. It was like you had to cut the shrimp with a knife, like you couldn't do it with a fork.
What?
Yeah. Actually, I delivered the scallops and the crab meat to that restaurant, so that was kind of cool.
That's a cool little full circle thing. Like, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I
I
said it.
definitely
I
appreciate
said it a couple times.
it. Just a couple, right? I'm sure it was 4 or 5.
And Marissa, her dinner was just scallops, like scallops, and had like this puree on it. We each got a couple of drinks. The drinks were really good. First drink I got was a gin that had muddled strawberries and lemonade in it. That was fantastic. And the second drink was one of those ones that comes in, it's not a martini glass, but it's like more rounded, and it had a dehydrated peach in it, and it was vodka and other things. That was that was really good. And we spent more than $200. We spent $217. So, but $17 in the tip for all that shit. I was happy with it.
Nah, sometimes you gotta splurge a little bit.
I'd give it an 8.15.
It's solid. Anything in the eights. Anything in the eights is good.
It was really good. I mean, oh, we were supposed to get dessert. Everybody was talking about getting dessert. Then everybody was too full. I didn't even finish my meal. But on the way home, I was like, hey, why don't we slide through Cookout, get a milkshake? And everybody was like, oh, I'm so full. I was like, okay. We came home. We had half a pint of pistachio ice cream. So we're sitting on the couch. I eat it, and then I pass out eating the ice cream. And Merce had to scream at me to get me off the couch. It was a nice little evening.
Yeah, that sounds like a great way to end a nice date night.
Passing out with some ice cream.
Yeah. Okay. So if back to my review, if the cheesecake wasn't so good, it probably would have been like 8-2. But the cheesecake was just, and I was so full too. I had to force myself to eat it, but man, that shit was good. So that bumped it up. It was good.
I mean, when you can finish a meal strong like that, that's definitely going to affect the score.
Oh, for sure. All right. So Epic Bar Tab, closing out. All-Star Weekend. How much did you watch?
I watched the skills competition, uh, the first two events on the skills competition.
Mhm.
Then we went because we were at this little RV park, and then we left, came back. I saw Steph and Sabrina. I saw the whole dunk contest.
Okay, yeah. I watched skills competition. My thoughts, get rid of it. I think it's stupid.
They've
Um,
ruined it. They've ruined it.
it's a waste of time. Nobody's trying hard. They're doing stupid stuff. I think they add in King of the Court. Like I heard Gilbert Arenas talking about it. Make players enter, like have an entry fee of $50,000, and there'd be $1 million prize, and like play 1-on-1, and that would be like super exciting, and that really showcases skills if you ask me. But that's just my 2 cents on skills.
They nerfed the whole thing. The size of just because they had the old format, at the start of it, where you go through the players, but they've made the fucking distance between the simulated defenders so far apart. It takes no skill to dribble through that, and two of the motherfuckers couldn't even do it. I'm like, and obviously they can. They were just dicking around, and the size of the things for the passing, I could throw that shit behind my back every time, and I'm not even close to as good as these fucking guys.
Right.
It's
It's
a
just
joke.
like it takes too much time, and it's not as exciting. If I was a fan there, I'd be like, oh, woohoo, he's bouncing the ball through this little ring. Like it's just not exciting. 3-point competition is slowly making its way to the best competition of the evening. Um, it's kind of been that way for the past couple of years. It started to get a little bit more exciting. Obviously, the Zach LaVine era and Aaron Gordon era was very exciting. But yeah, 3-point competition was good. The thing about the 3-point competition to me is back in the day, like I think Larry Bird won with a 17 score.
Yeah,
Like
and he won 3 in a row. They've changed it a little bit too, though. There's like more money balls now.
that's true. That is true.
You can
But
score.
now, like, if you don't score 26, you're not making it to the finals, which is pretty crazy.
That's what I saw in some of the highlights because I bet, I don't know, $10 on Larry Markkinen, and he had 25 and didn't make the finals.
Yeah. It's all about like that money ball rack where you put it, like some people, I think Markkinen put it at his second rack and he wasn't like quite warmed up yet. So he missed like 3 of his money balls, which if you miss 3 of your money balls, you might as well you lose. Oh, God damn, I can't talk. You might as well just give up.
We're gonna have to be a speech therapist next time we get on here.
Yeah. Shit. Um, but that just goes to further show that Steph would win every year. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
he's really not close. He makes it look so effortless. The Steph and Sabrina thing was cool. I do like that they do that. I wish Sabrina just would have shot from the WNBA line. Like I get it. She's trying to be like she's trying to compete. I'm not Kenny Smith here. right? I'm not drunk.
You're sounding kind of like drunk Kenny Smith right now.
No, but that's not what she does. It'd be like Steph saying he's going to shoot everyone from 30 feet. And it's like, yeah, he would have made a lot of them probably, but that's not the NBA line. Like she shot with women's balls. Why doesn't she shoot from the women's line?
Well, that just showcases how fucking good she is, really.
True, it does. She had 26, which would have got her into the final round, which is nuts. She
And
can fucking shoot it.
Honestly, if she shot from the women's line, it might not be fair to Steph.
True, I think that video of her at the women's all-star competition or wherever that was, I think she missed maybe one or two. Like she went crazy.
I like the even playing field. Obviously, she has got to shoot with a women's ball.
Right, because that's what she practices with.
I like her shooting from the men's line.
Okay, all right. Well, I mean, I'm a fan of Sabrina. Like I have her shoes. I wear her shoes. I have her basketball shoes. So I'm not a hater. I like her game. I think she's really good. I just think she should have shot from the women's line. But whatever. Dunk contest. Basically, the judges suck. I don't know why we have these dinosaurs that are judging the dunk contest. Like when they competed in the dunk contest, it was like if you did a backwards dunk, you got a 50. And they're giving people that are doing these insane 360 between the legs like 47s. How dare them?
The only person up there who they had Fred Jones up there won the dunk contest in 2005. So he should understand the because he couldn't do these fucking dunks.
No.
And Darnell Tillman, terrible judge.
The Tillman or was it Hillman? I think it was Hillman.
I think it was Tillman.
I think it was Hillman.
I'm gonna look it up.
We'll get Bryce on the fact check.
I mean, he was awful.
That was bad. The one Jacob Toppin, his dunk was hard. Jaylen Brown's dunks sucked. They all sucked. I like the tribute thing to the Terrence Clark was cool, but it was a bad dunk, and that's what this is about. The thing with the glove that he did, where he did the left-handed windmill, was funny because he can't use his left hand, but that was a bad windmill, and just goes to further show that he's bad with his left hand. So like, kind of jokes on him. And Dominique gave him like a 49 or a 50. I'm like, Dominique is like, he is the windmill guy, and you're gonna give that shitty windmill a 49? What is?
You're right. It is Hillman.
I know.
Darren Tillman or Darnell Tillman plays for the Kansas City Roos, whoever that is.
Yeah, whatever it is.
The thing I get, Jaylen Brown didn't have a great showing.
No, he sucked.
But also, he's the only player of that caliber that was in the competition.
He's true.
Commended for trying to bring superstar type athletes back into it. And after the way people are treating him, no one on his level is ever going to fucking be in it again.
That is true. I did see something that they said LeBron has single-handedly ruined the dunk contest, because before him, it was the All-Stars that competed in the dunk contest, and he was like, now pass. So that made all the other players like the John Morants of the world and people like that be like, yeah, I'm good. So
yeah, Toppin was solid. I mean, they were getting the arena was dead too.
Right. Nobody wanted to see anything other than Mac McClung dunk, which I'm here for it. Mac McClung is awesome. I don't think he should be able to compete because he's in the G League. Same with Toppin.
Toppin's on a 2-way contract though.
I guess that's fair. But the McClung thing, like, I get it. He won last year. I think you gotta
good enough to be in the
spin. Say what?
He's good enough to be in the league though.
He is with G League Rookie of the Year.
He had 30 and 8 in the clinching game of the G League Finals.
Right. But that's a different pool of talent.
No, I'm saying, but guys get called up averaging 12 and 8, and he's obviously, the guys aren't as big. They're not as athletic. I think he should be in the league. You're telling me he's not better than some of these fucking guys right on the bench? A certain guy from Milwaukee comes to mind. I'm not going to name many names.
Yeah. Talking about Thanasis.
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's totally different. Thanasis is like 6'9". McClung is lucky to be 6'1".
that's true. And Thanasis, I'm not going to really shit on him. He is a lockdown defender, I think. He can actually defend.
Yeah, he's should be playing tight end in the NFL, but
He would be more athletic than every tight end.
yeah, goofier too. But that's besides the point. I think they should have new players, like people that have won past dunk contests, like the Zach Levines, the Aaron Gordons, um, like newer people. The Vince Carter. Why is Vince Carter not a judge? Like
Oh, yeah.
those people versus the dinosaurs that are.
It could be, I don't know. There might be like contractual issues because they probably work for other networks. And
That's a good point, I guess. I don't know, but
also, the scoring is fucking terrible. I don't like rating it from a 40 to a 50 each person and doing an average. Do 1 through 10.
1 through 10 or like 10, 20, 30, 40, or 50.
I don't like that one.
That's fair.
But you're entitled to that.
I
Because
see what you're saying.
what if it sucks that somebody get like it's good and then Darnell Hillman gives somebody a 10,
Right.
you know?
That's true. That's true. That's a good point. I just think these judges need to lower their expectations a little bit. Like when they were doing in their dunk contest, probably did a windmill or like a backwards dunk or close their eyes or something dumb and got 50s. And they're
Don't
expecting these people to do what to get a 50? Like it's just dumb.
don't bring D Brown into this. He executed
He
that dunk.
did, and Jalen didn't, and still got a freaking 49, which is absurd.
Yeah, why did he jump over that kid in the chair?
The kid in the chair is like a streamer, right? He's a big YouTube guy, Kai Sanat. I'm gonna pronounce that wrong, but big YouTube guy, and I guess the showmanship of it, like put the streamer in the chair. Why not have him stand up? He's like 5'4". I'm not sure what the thing was.
Yeah.
Should have had him stand up, but overall, I think there's some work that needs to be done in everything but the 3-point competition. The game I think is pointless as well. They just run up and down.
They should scrap the game.
They should scrap the game, do something different.
I mean, the NFL changed their shit to flag football because it got so pointless.
Yeah, I think it should be more so of a all-star event, not necessarily all based on a game. There's no incentive for them. They're not going to play hard. They don't care.
I saw Hassan Whiteside say that they should give the winning conference home court advantage in the finals. That's
I
what
I don't love that. I mean, that's how they used to do it in the NFL, or
that's
they
how
might.
baseball does it.
Baseball does that.
Yeah. Well, they used to. I don't know if they still do.
I don't know. I don't like it. I like the competition aspect. Like you get the best overall record, you get home field event or home court advantage. That's how I like it. But after the All-Star game, so I think LeBron was asked if he wanted a farewell tour or if he wanted kind of like a Tim Duncan exit, where it's just like, oh hey, by the way, I'm retiring. He said that he doesn't handle praise well, which I think is absurd. I saw something on Twitter, I believe, that said, dude, you have chosen one across your chest and you don't handle praise well. I think he should do a farewell tour just because I want to watch it.
I mean, that shit was awesome. Kobe did it.
It was awesome with Kobe. Now, LeBron's not going to do the same thing that Kobe did. There's no chance LeBron scores 60 in his last game. He's not Kobe. He doesn't need to try to be Kobe either, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
but it would be cool to every stadium he goes to. They play a tribute video, and there's something about him, and he knows this is his last deal. Um, I think that's what he should do.
I'm all for the tour. I think he's listen, I'm the biggest LeBron fan there is. I think he's full of shit about 50-50 about wanting the tour or not. He wants that fucking tour.
He wants the tour. You're right.
And I want it too.
Yeah, I'm here for it.
I'll be upset if he does it the Tim Duncan way.
Yeah, could you imagine just like waking up after the season one day and just be like, "Oh shit, LeBron's retiring"? Like, oh god, that'd be painful. Who would I like? I might not watch the NBA ever again. I can barely watch it right now.
Yeah, I mean, all my other favorite players are retired. J Kidd, Shaq.
Yeah, I don't know. That's gonna be a weird time. Weird time in the NBA.
We could I was trying to think of a random player that we could follow around.
Mac McClung.
Gordon Hayward.
How? What are the odds we just named two white dudes?
Are we racist?
I think so. Let's move on. So 6 days till we do some light jogging around Atlanta.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
I'm nervous for sure, but I had my best 5 mile yet today.
Nice.
So my my pace, I was shooting for a 14-minute pace because that's kind of what I'm going for.
Mhm.
My pace, I believe, was around 12:30.
Oh shit.
Yeah, my average pace was 12:30.
Okay. So much for your 14-minute. Or you just said, screw that. I'm gonna.
I was just feeling good, and I was like, let me just see if I can maintain this. The first 3 miles I did like right around that 12:30, and my fourth mile I felt really slow,
Mhm.
and it was 12 minutes 57 seconds. And in my head, I was like, well, I was under 13. Let me just pick it up a little bit, and then I did under 12:30 on the last mile.
Nice.
It was my second fastest mile on the last one. So
Yeah, that's what's up. I'm nervous too. Um, I feel prepared, but I never ran the 26. I ran the 18 today, and that's my last long run before we do the marathon, and it sucked. But it went okay. Um, I think it was like an 8:53 pace. I'll probably slow it down on the actual marathon. Like I'm gonna run the first 5 blind, kind of not looking at my watch. And then after I hit 5, I'm gonna settle into about a 9:30 pace and just cruise for 5. I'll probably bump down to 10 for the next 5 and then see how I'm feeling after that, whether it be fast or slower. Who knows, but I don't want to burn out. Um, but after I finished today, I just laid in the grass for like 45 minutes and was just like, oof. That
I might fucking cry.
It's gonna be a cool feeling. We're gonna be both hurting, but it's gonna be a cool feeling.
I was talking about crying because of pain.
Yeah, I think cry because of both. Like it's such a cool idea that to me, when we started talking about it, I told you I was gonna run the Atlanta Marathon, and you were like, "Oh yeah, maybe I'll run the half," like just joking, like very much joking. And I was like, "You can do it. You just have to say you're gonna do it and train accordingly." And then fucking 6 days from now, you're about to run the half marathon. So I think it's
Yes,
going to be a good sense of accomplishment for you. It's going to be pretty cool.
couch to half marathon, 6 months.
Couch to half marathon. Um, it can be done,
Pretty
right?
impressive. If I do it, it's pretty impressive.
You're going to do it. And just tell yourself there's no other option. Like if you get to mile 12 and you start hurting, just be like, I'm finishing this. I guess somebody better come with a wheelchair or something because we're finishing. But picks record, I am 23, 27, and 1. So I had a decent weekend. I think I lost 3, 1, 2, but slowly inching away from that 500 mark. I got to get back to it. So my best bet this week is Miami versus Duke. on Wednesday, I'm taking Miami money line. Miami's at home. Duke, I think, is playing pretty good right now, but they're going to go on the road. It's hard to play on the road, and they're going to take Miami lightly. And Miami can score with the best of them. So, I'm
What's
going
the
Miami.
spread?
It's Wednesday. They haven't released the odds yet, but we'll see if it's like a 12-point line. I'll take Miami the spread. But right now, I'm thinking money line. I think Miami's going to go on there and win it outright.
Okay, I like it. My record as of right now, you see this fucking cat?
Yeah, I see it.
My record right now is 18, 21, and 2.
Okay.
I had my best bet for last time was that Hurricanes game, and that hit, and I was happy with it. But I've lost 2, and it's kind of like whatever bullshit ones in the All-Star game, but you got to count them. My best bet is tomorrow, UConn -3 against Creighton.
Okay. Creighton is the best team that they've played in a while. Is Creighton in the Big East?
I don't know if they're in the Big East.
They have to be because it's conference play right now. I did not realize Creighton was in the Big East now, but
They are.
yeah. So UConn -3 versus Creighton, huh?
Yeah, I think it's going to be a good test for UConn, but 24-2, Creighton's a good team. They're ranked 15th in the country. But I'm confident. I'm confident in my boys.
Okay, so UConn is definitely the most consistent team in the country, which I think is why they're so unanimously considered that #1 overall seed. But let's go into our fun segments, the multi-sport athlete, and today that is you, my friend.
Okay, give me 1 second. I just want to pull this up and make sure I get it all right.
All right.
But it is a current NFL player who is a giant man. Mo Alley Cox, you heard of him?
What?
Mo Alley Cox.
Okay. I don't
You
know
heard
who
of
that
him?
is.
Oh, for real?
Mm-mm.
He plays for the Colts right now. He's fucking giant. 6'6", 260.
God dang.
He was during high school, he was a basketball player. Played football his freshman year in high school. 4-year starter, 3-year starter at VCU for basketball. They're pretty solid program.
I know who this is.
He's a big dude with the dreads.
Yeah. Okay.
Started 103 of 142 games, scored 1,000 points, 660 rebounds, 255 blocks, averaged over 25 minutes a game last 3 years of his career. Led VCU to their first A10 conference championship, all tournament honors. School's all-time leader in field goal percentage.
Hey.
Didn't get drafted. Signed with the Colts. Obviously hadn't played football since his freshman year of high school, which is fucking insane. Can't teach size, though.
No, absolutely not.
First couple of years in the league, he was practice squad player, bounced around a little bit. But 2020, he starts playing some more, sets his career high 400 receiving yards. 2021, 4 touchdowns. 2022, 3 touchdowns. 2023, 3 touchdowns. 2022, he signed a 3-year, $18 million contract extension with the Colts. And honestly, I think he's one of those guys who really doesn't get enough touches. I mean, he's really just like a, red zone threat.
Right, because he's gigantic.
Like last year, he had 9 catches, but 3 of them were touchdowns.
Oh, shit. Yeah, maybe he's on the up and up. That's pretty absurd to go from, not even focus on football. You're just a basketball player through and through. And then all of a sudden basketball doesn't work out. You get a call from the Colts and they're like, hey man, you want to come play tight end? And you're like, sure. How much are you going to pay me again? Like, what? Doesn't even make sense.
I mean, it just speaks to how athletic that guy is.
That is very much so. That it also speaks to the argument that basketball players are generally the most athletic. Not necessarily the most athletic across all sports, but basketball players can go play football. Football players can't come and play basketball.
Yeah, no.
Yeah. So that was multi-sport athlete. North Carolina athlete of the week. Roman Gabriel. Heard of him?
Sounds familiar.
Sounds familiar. He's born August 5th, 1940 from none other than the good old Wilmington, North Carolina.
Yeah.
He went to New Hanover High School where he played football and baseball. Went to college at NC State. He's a two-time All-American, 35 total touchdowns, 20 passing, 15 rushing. In 1962, he was the number 1 draft pick by the AFL, or in the AFL by the Oakland Raiders, and the number 2 draft pick in the NFL by the Los Angeles Rams. He decided to play for the Rams, and he spent 16 seasons in the NFL, winning the MVP in 1969. He retired as the Rams' all-time leader in passing yards with 22,223. So, Roman Gabriel. I didn't know he was from Wilmington either. I didn't really know him tons. Obviously, 1969, we weren't watching NFL back then, and I would imagine his 22,000 passing yards is very far down the list now in today's NFL.
But back then, I mean, that's a lot.
Right. I mean, Los Angeles Rams all-time leader in passing yards, not anymore, but at the time. The crazy thing about that to me was that he was the number 1 pick in the AFL draft, number 2 pick in the NFL draft the same year.
Yeah, that's back when they actually had a rivalry before the NFL became the
Right.
no fun league.
So I think that was about the time where the NFL was very much starting to separate itself from the AFL a little bit, and kind of become that premier football league. But yeah, that's our North Carolina athlete. New Hanover High School is producing some studs.
The athlete factory, dude. I mean, remember when we were high school in there, all the fucking state championship banners they have?
It's pretty wild playing in that gym. But yeah, it's a factory. I mean, given it was like it might have been the only high school in the county at that point.
Probably at the start, yeah.
Yeah, at the start. I wonder when Hoggard was, because that was probably the second, I would imagine.
I have a tennis match at Hoggard tonight in 40 minutes.
Good old Shit-Yard High School.
Oh man, less than a minute. Anything else?
No, just we'll see you this weekend.
Have the beers ready.
Yeah, bring your running pants.
All right.
All right, brother. See you.